How do I identify hardware I'm unfamiliar with on my computer? How would I go about identifying a port, card or connector on my system which I am unfamiliar with? Where would I find information on what these parts are? What would be the steps I would take in identifying unknown port or cable? This question comes up frequently, and the suggested solutions are usually the same. This community wiki is an attempt to serve as the definitive, most comprehensive answer possible. Feel free to add your contributions via edits.
In many cases, the first port of call in attempting to identify a port or other component would be the manual. This is especially useful in the rare cases where a port doesn't follow a specification, for example with laptop docking ports. Always RTFM the manual is probably the simplest, most correct source of information. To a significant degree most ports and connectors on pieces are standardized, and there are resources to identify what they look like, or the symbols that identify them. I'm rather fond of the computer hardware chart done by Sonic840 on DeviantArt, CC by Sub, for a visual guide to common physical ports, though it doesn't show USB 3.0 yet, or the 3 different common colors for USB ports, yellow for charge, black for 2.0 and blue with more pins for 3.0. I've also found for generic connectors, iFixit has a nice guide to them, naturally focused on connecting and disconnecting them, rather than identifying them. Still, knowing something is as if connector can be useful. If you know roughly what the cable is for, Wikipedia might be a good place to look, with articles on video connectors as well as general sorts of computer connectors. They also have common symbolic representations, though they seem to be standardized by different organizations, which may be especially useful with legacy ports. In some cases, this may be a pictogram of the intended purpose of the port, for example printers for parallel ports, alloy for serial ports, and mouse and keyboard symbols. The location of ports may also be a clue, for example docking ports are typically at the bottom of a laptop. Internal connectors may often be of very small X types, and their electrical layout may not hint at their purpose. While this is an attempt to cover most of the cases, there's some situations where users have asked some questions on say. I've attempted to catalog them here by type to make them easier to find. Laptop connectors. HP docking port. Acer combo drive. Display connectors. Lenovo Mini VGA Mini DV and others. Internal Molex. KK type connected to USB. Video adapters. Laptop Q slot, MXM3. Internal display connectors. LVDS and ED. Audio connectors. CD-ROM drive analog connector. RGB LED power. 4-pin header. USB weird USB cable. Usage.
On Unix-like systems, you can get most of this information using a combination of the commands below. To find all connected USB devices, run. To get more detailed information. To find all the hardware on the PCI bus, often including IC names, run. For still more detail. As an example, one line from a typical SPI output. This not only indicates a SATA port but, after downloading the datasheet for the 82801 IC, you will have a great deal of technical information on that port's capabilities. Other useful tools are LSHW, should be run as root or with sudo. LSHW GTK, a graphical front end of LSHW. Winfo, like LSHW, this lists all detectable hardware devices.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.